Hi guys, I'm Babs and welcome to the channel Mind Meets Model. Today, I will be talking about AI change champions within organizations and why they are integral for organizational transformation in the age of AI. Who or what are change champions? Change champions are typically ambassadors for a technological transformation that tends to go on within organizations. So when there was agile, there were agile change champions that you'd find out people who maybe were excited about the methodology, the values and the principles that tried it or were trying to get everybody around them to understand it and try it out. These people are very key because they are the organic sources of change in your organization. One of the key mistakes that organizations tend to make is that oftentimes all they do is bring outsiders to implement the new technological transformations, and outsiders don't know the lay of the land the way folks who have been within the company, worked within, understand their colleagues, amongst a myriad of reasons do. And not saying consultants like myself are bad ideas, but with great consultants, some of the things we do is interview a vast number of people. And within those interviews, understand the people who are change champions, people who maybe in their personal life already are tinkering with AI and not just trying to get better at ChatGPT. That's all well and good. No knock to prompt engineering or prompt mastery. However, people who are curious and curious enough to want to talk so that even during those interviews or after those interviews, you have follow-up sessions with these individuals to understand what exactly they've done and what they're working on, or sometimes ask them how they feel like AI might help within the space that they're working. These folks are your allies. And I say that because change is unfamiliar, and it is why a lot of times it meets a lot of resistance because it's this new thing. And considering human nature, a lot of times new things that are unfamiliar are considered threats biologically. This is not AI or agile or anything else. It's just human nature. Anything that is outside of what we're accustomed to by default for most people, unless people who have tried to evolve mentally, the first thing that you do is you resist, you panic, you play it safe. However, one of the things that you can do as a consultant or as an organization is find familiar people within the organization, people who help you bridge that divide, the divide between what's new and what already exists. These guys have relationships with their peers already. They understand the way of working within the organization, and they have a curiosity or sometimes decent enough experience with the new technology. They are an asset, and organizations need to understand the importance of these individuals because as a consultant, they can give you an idea of a how, a how to implement whatever strategy you've come up with, because strategy and culture are two different things. And we know everything, the sayings like culture eats strategy for breakfast. But I'm of the opinion that culture and strategy can share a dinner table or a breakfast table and eat together. And it is until you're able to make that happen that the successful transformations really happen. You have to factor the culture, you have to factor the norms, how things are being done before you just inject change, because it is with factoring, bringing strategy and culture together and understanding them and how they complement each other or what trade-offs need to be made. That is how a successful transformation truly happens. So change champions are critical in this puzzle because they do a great job of meeting you, the strategist, along with the culture, because of the divide that they bridge, which is what you're bringing into the organization, this new field, this new technology, this new way of working. They help you bridge that divide because they have the curiosity and they also have the culture. And you only have the subject matter expertise, so that without a bridge, that is nothing. And sometimes that is why a lot of transformations fail. It is not because the framework or the methodology for how you decide to implement this AI transformation is not great, but it is because there are missing components that help it stick and properly absorbed by the organization. So sometimes the framework of the methodology is not the problem. A lot of times it's not the problem. A lot of times I often tell people that before we embark on transformations, be it AI transformations or back in the day, agile transformations, there is a cultural element that a lot of times organizations just gloss or skip over or don't even consider. And then that always bumps head with whatever transformation is occurring. However, change champions play a huge role in smoothing it out. They increase that frictionless state to make sure, or they reduce the friction and increase the frictionless state to make sure this can be better absorbed by the associates, employees, and the organization at large. So, if your organization is about to embark on an AI transformation, make sure you try to identify folks who are already curious. Curiosity sometimes is enough. They might know nothing else, but the curiosity is a good enough ingredient for you to work with. And with that being said, today is a short one, so I do hope this has been valuable. I hope if you're a manager, an associate, if you're interested in being a change champion within an organization, you can start to figure out what it takes. You can reach out, drop a comment, or anything else. However, please always make sure to like, share, and subscribe. That is how we grow the channel. That is how more value is a wider reached, and that is how, more than anything, AI gets to at least 1 million people in the not so distant future. Thank you. It's Babs once again, and thanks for watching.